I loved the 80s. You remember those days when your phone was still attached to the wall and you had to wait until I got home to talk to me? Worse yet, if I wasn't home, you had to leave a message. Those days are so gone. There's a whole new generation of people who have a different way of doing things. It's better and more efficient. And about a year ago, I'm planning a trip to Warren, Vermont, which is about 5 hours north from here if you take the Amtrak train. And I was excited. The person who was doing my travel arrangements asked me how I wanted to get there, and I told her Amtrak, because I have never been there. And she said, fine. But how are we going to get you from the Amtrak train station to where you're going, which was another 30 minutes north? And I told her, I'll just take a cab. And she said, okay. And then I said, hold on, Steph. Before I leave, can you make sure I have the phone number to that cab company? And she says, why? And I said, in case there's not a cab at the train station, I'll call them. And she goes, okay. Well, why don't you Uber? And I said, no, I don't Uber. She says, no? I said, no, I don't Uber. She says, okay. She shrugs her shoulders. She walks out the room. And later that day, I'm having lunch with my coworkers, and I'm telling them the story. And one of them says, you don't Uber? I said, no, I don't Uber. She says, why not? I said, because I have no idea who these people are. I mean, check out this concept. Someone decides to take their car, start driving you around, and I have no idea who they are. I'm a New Yorker. And in New York, there's a yellow cab, and there's a license with a photo given to this person by the Taxi and Limousine Commission, and somebody thought this person was worthy enough to drive me around. I'm not Ubering. And so she goes on to tell me, and she's much younger than me, wait a minute, you rather get in a cab where no one has any account of you getting into this car. You're gonna drive around, you have no idea if he's going the right way because of some taxi and limousine commission? I said, yeah. And she says, good luck with that. So I'm on the Amtrak train, and I'm having a great time. I'm reading my book, and I'm listening to music a whole 5 hours to myself. And then I hear the conductor say, Warren, Vermont, next stop. And I'm so excited. I'm waiting by the door. I have my suitcase, and the door's open. I'm like, yes. And I step out, and my excitement is met with total shock. The platform is almost pitch dark. And only 2 other people came out of the train with me, which wouldn't have been a surprise had I done my research and learned that Warren, Vermont has 1,745 people in it. I go down the steps, and as I'm doing so, I'm noticing down the path, down this platform, there are about 3 or 4 men chatting. I thought that was a little odd. They don't have suitcases. They're just talking. It's a weird place to hang out. But I go down to the parking lot, and I watch the 2 other people get picked up by their friends or their loved ones. And I count parking spaces, and there are only 9 of them. And there is no one in the parking lot. It is the end of January in Vermont, and I realize I only have a certain number of minutes to get out of there. There is no taxi cab, but that's okay, because I asked Stephanie to give me that phone number, so I pulled it out, and I took out my cell phone, and I proceed to call the cab company, and I say, hi, this is Cynthia, and I've just landed in Warren, Vermont, and I was hoping you can send a cab over because I have to go up north to Sugarbush. And he said, you just landed in Warren at the Amtrak train station? I said, yes. And you're going to Sugarbush? I said, yes. He goes, well, I'm in Sugarbush. I said, that's great. Can you come down and get me and take me back? And he said, no. I said, no. He said, I'm not going to be able to find a cab to drive half an hour to bring you a half an hour back up. And before I can ask him another question, he hung up. And I realized that I have no idea what I'm gonna do. This is probably what horror movies are made of. But I didn't go to Warren to die. I'm supposed to be there some leadership conference workshop for 5 days. And I'm like, shit. I stand there and I'm thinking, and then I see this shadow. This man comes toward me and I turn to him and I say, hi. He says, hi. Are you okay? I said, yeah. He goes, are you waiting for somebody? I said, yeah. And then I said, no. And then I said, I can't get a cab. And so I wonder if you knew a local cab company. He said, no. I said, oh. And he said, what are you gonna do? And I could feel the cold in my bones. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna call Uber. He said, Uber? I said, Uber? He says, there is no Uber here. I said, that's impossible. Uber is everywhere. And he says, no, not here. And he left. And I thought, okay. But you see, even though I resisted my coworkers, I was smart enough to download the app before I left. And so I take my phone back out, I register myself, and I start to wait for this Uber person. And so Uber has this radar that goes around when it's looking for a car to come get you. And I'm at about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I get to 7 minutes and there is no Uber. And I put the phone away. I am 5 hours away. I have no one to call and I don't know a soul in Warren, Vermont. I sit there, I stand there, and I'm thinking, those minutes are starting to tick, and I only have a shorter amount of time before the cold gets so deep in my bones, it's gonna be unreversible. And so I think, and I do the only thing I could do, and that's take my phone out again and try again. And so I turn on the app, and that radar goes again, and I'm watching it. And 2 minutes go by, and then 3 and 4, and guess what? I get a car, and Michael is 4 minutes away, which according to my calculation is okay. I will not die in Warren, Vermont, unless he's a serial killer. It just occurred to me that I am doing the one thing I said I wouldn't do. But I'm excited, and I'm waiting for Michael and praying, please don't be a serial killer, please don't be a serial killer. And I see him come up, and I'm smart, so I check the license plate, the car, the make, the model, the guy, everything. It all matches. So he opens his trunk, I put my suitcase in there, and I get in the back seat, and we start driving. And about 2 minutes into the ride, I remember watching Oprah in 1987, and she had a detective on her show who talked about how to survive a serial killer. I have no idea in 1987 why I was watching this and why she was showing it, but Lord, it came in handy. And I remember him saying that if you ever come up against a serial killer, that you should have a conversation with him. Because apparently, if they see you as a child, as someone's mother, someone's friend, they are less likely to kill you. This is research. This is real research, he said. And so I decide I have to have a conversation with Michael. So I make sure that my GPS is on because I'm going to watch him where he's going. I put it on my lap. And I say, so Michael, how long have you been doing this Ubering thing? And he says, oh, about 4 years. I said, really? Because I met a guy, and he said there are no Ubers in Warren, Vermont. He goes, oh, no, I'm the only one. I said, oh, okay. And so do you do this full time? And he says, no, I do it part time. I said, oh, so what do you do the rest of the time? And he says, I'm a wood carver. And I'm thinking, what are the chances? Jesus, please don't have your tools with you. What kind of job is that? I don't say this, I think it. And then I said, oh, he goes, yeah, and I work alone in the house and I get bored. So I come out to meet people. And I'm thinking, oh, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Are you nuts? And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then he says, well, I'm also a storyteller. I said, that's great. I'm a storyteller too. So we start telling each other stories. And then he says, have you ever heard the story of the German Christmas pickle? And I said, no, or the Christmas German pickle. And I said, no. And he goes, well, it is in Germany, young kids wake up on Christmas Day, and they're really excited because the first child to find a pickle inside the tree gets an extra gift. And so he said this is based on the legend where two boys are coming across a village and they're trying to get home for the holiday. But it's snowing and cold, much like that day. And they don't think they're gonna make it home. So they see the lights on in this inn, and they go inside the inn and they get a room so that they can sleep the night and then start again the next morning. What they don't know, though, is that the innkeeper is really evil, and he takes the two boys and he stuffs them in a pickle barrel and he locks it up, waiting for them to die. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? What kind of story is that? This is a legend. And I'm like, oh my God. And so what the innkeeper doesn't know is that St. Nicholas is coming across the same town. He hears the boys, he unlashes the pickle barrel, and the boys are set free and they make it home for the holidays. And I'm thinking, oh my God, thank you, thank you. And next thing I hear is, you have arrived. And I look up, and he's right, I've arrived to the inn. And I look at my phone and I realize I never even looked down. Thank God, because the phone had gone blank. He gets out of the car to get my suitcases out from there, and I'm going through my bag and I'm looking for a tip, and I think I should give him a little extra because he didn't kill me. So I think he deserves a little bit more. So I find all the cash I have, and so I come out and I realize I forgot to ask him something. And I said, Michael, what do you do with the wood carvings? Do you sell them? And he goes, oh, no. I said, no? He goes, no, I give them away. I go, oh, that's nice. And he takes something out of his pocket, and he gives me a wood carving of a Santa Claus in the shape of a pickle. And I say, thank you. And I give him the tip, and he says, no, thank you. I said, no, thank you. And as I'm walking away, I realize that I just may have met the nicest Uber driver ever. And those young people, they're on to something. Thank you.